Welcome back to Celebrity Radio. It's Alex Belfield in the West End at the fabulous Miss Saigon with two of the biggest stars, not only in this show, but in the world of musical theatre. Jon Jon Briones, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
And of course, Alistair Bremer, how are you?
Very well, mate, very well.
Guys, congratulations. Firstly, I saw this show about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I declared it the greatest musical performance in history. Whoa. I thought it was magnificent. Seriously, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're both at the top of your game, and to see such talent in one room is such a blessing. There's so much crap out there. I mean, there's no phoning it in, is there? You've got to be there, you've got to be present, and you've got to knock it out.
It isn't one of those shows that you can give 65%. There are shows that you can. I shouldn't say that, but there are. This is certainly not one of them.
Absolutely, because, you know, if you're not going to do it 100%, why do it, right? And especially with this material, you're doing a lot of disservice to a lot of people who lived it if you don't.
This piece matters. It's got a real story and a real heart to it. Of course, it's a love story, and that's what we have to do. Firstly, fall in love with you. And what I said in my review was that you have mastered the art of that, of making people like you, that charm you have on stage. It's something I've never felt being attractive. Could you explain that feeling to me as a ginger person?
Yeah, I'm lucky I've got a girlfriend. Without her, I'd be screwed.
Literally.
No, yeah. Well. Of all the roles in the show, it's the one that could be seen as, I don't want to say the easiest, but do you know what I mean? It's the one that's got the least kind of like Kim goes through so much, and Jon Jon's character is so characterful. Chris can be seen as the sort of Winky Prince character, but actually he's got a lot of baggage himself, and he goes through a hell of a journey. You've just got to fall in love with the girl. I don't know, you just got to try and do it. And Eva's very easy to fall in love with. She's lovely.
It was obvious to me that your next role will be Jean Valjean in Les Mis, because it's so obvious that you're right for that role. You have a way of making the audience care. I mean, when you sing your songs, they've got to be done properly, haven't they? There's no just sort of throwing it away. Every word counts.
Well, you have to respect the real history of the show. It's based in actual truth. Like you said, there are sort of jukebox musicals that are just trying to string together, but this really has actual truth, so that's it makes our job easier. Actually, it makes us it makes your ability to truly feel more easy, because you can go and watch footage of these real people doing the same things you're doing, so it makes your life a lot easier. But it really is. You can just pluck it out, so long as you know the history, because you can't approach this without that. If you approach this without the research, it's just not the same.
You've had a magnificent career. We'll get to that next. First, though, Jon Jon, let's talk about you and your role as the engineer. I mean, I've never seen anybody with more consistent energy in a show that seems to love being there more than you. You were born to do that role. I think that's probably the reason you've been in it for 400 years.
That's right, 401 years. I'm just happy to be here. I love what I do. I love this role. That's why I keep coming back, and luckily Cameron thinks the same way. And and I show my appreciation by giving my everything out there, because if I don't, I might as well go home and cook sausages.
I guess if the producer doesn't like you, you're going to struggle in a role, aren't you, really? It's never going to work if the producer thinks you're rubbish.
Absolutely, especially Cameron. He'll kill you.
I can't remember what year it was. Was it 1989 you were first? Yeah, 1989 you first starred in this. You've done it around the world. You were in the last run of the first show. You're in the first show of the new run back in May. I mean, no greater talent, no greater compliment to your career, really, is there, that they keep having you back? You were clearly the man for the job.
I don't know how to answer that. Like I said, I'm blessed. I'm fortunate that Cameron saw me again and saw that I can do some more for the role, and I'm here and I'm giving it what I can, because, like I said, it's a tribute to all the other engineers who've done this show and all the other people who've done this show, to just tell it correctly and tell it with passion and not take a break.
If I may, though, if I may, it's the same way in which Cameron looked for a new person to play Madame Thénardier in The Les Mis 25th, and he had to go back to Jenny Galloway, because it's you see a person do it so well that then trying to find a new person is just not possible. And I think that you do such a definitive character of the engineer that you just couldn't find anyone better.
I agree. I mean, what's also interesting about it, when you come on with that American Dream, the last time I saw somebody do something like that in a theatre was Nathan Lane when he was in The Producer, and he did that song Betrayed. They call it the 11 o'clock number, right towards the end, where he recaps the entire show over about 9 minutes. There's a feeling of that when you do it. I mean, it goes on and on and on, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. The moment before that first note starts, how do you feel? Is it one of terror or excitement?
You know, that number is, it can go either way. It can go really wrong or it can go really great. That's why every time I start that number, I take a deep breath, because you need to ground yourself, and because you have a story to tell. And when you're grounded and when you are relaxed, the crowd relax with you, and then you take them on a ride. It goes up and then up again and then up again and then up again, and I think it's easier that way when you're grounded. And man, I don't know, I'm Asian, you know, it's so hard to find roles for, you know, for me, but man, this is for any actor, not just Asian. This role is, you know,
it was certainly kismet you getting it, and you do it so beautifully. Let's just talk about the show as a whole. What I loved firstly in the audience was there were 7-year-olds on this side, there were 89-year-olds on this side. It's stunning how this has mass appeal. I've already said it's credible. We then look at the staging of it and the lighting. It is just beautiful. I mean, Cameron does know what he's doing. If anybody can find a way to criticize him, and I don't really know how they can, I mean, he knows how to put a show on, and he's given you one. Before you even sing a note, it's a great show, isn't it?
Yeah, I've seen. I mean, I don't tend to read the reviews, but I did see one that said that they were disappointed with the helicopter, and I'm like, come on, short of having a real helicopter fly in through the back through the auditorium.
And I'm sure he did consider that at some point.
He can afford it, I'm sure, but it's just funny a helicopter's small enough.
Health and Safety said no real helicopters.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like it's very filmic as well. I think that Lawrence has done a really good job of making it so filmic, and the set is very I don't know how to describe it. It's very spiky, and it's the set's HD.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very sort of
4D.
Just, yeah. It's got such grit and such sharp edges. It's just. I mean, I haven't officially watched it, but just looking at the set when I first walked in, it was wow. It's like, am I wearing a pair of sort of reading glasses to look at the set? It was so sharp, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Now, when you're stood on that stage and that pin focus hits you for the first time, firstly, it's a cavernous theatre. It's huge, one of the biggest in the West End, which is great for you because you can pack audiences in. When you're stood there and you look out and it's all about you, what does it feel like? Is it exhilarating, or are you just thinking, how am I going to do this? Is it going to be there? Do you wake up in the morning and worry that?
No, it's never a vocal thing. It's always for me. It's always character first, and the vocal just sort of happens. And some of the best people I've ever seen, the vocals are not perfect. There's something boring about seeing someone just sing something perfectly, and it never entertains me. What entertains me is watching Bernadette Peters break down, or if your character's tired, they sound tired. If your character's ill, they sound ill.
It's relatable.
Yeah. Totally, and so I don't worry about the voice. If it isn't there, I worry about becoming ill, and if I'm ill, I'll go off the show. I've got a very good understudy in Naoshi, but I don't worry about my voice not being perfect. I like it that way.
The question I have to ask both of you is, do you consider why you? I mean, we alluded to it earlier. There are a million people out of work in show business who would bite their arms off to do this. They'd probably pay them, let alone do it for free. And they chose you, and they're paying you to be here. They've re-signed you. This show's a sellout. It's had the greatest reviews in years. Why you?
You know, a lot of actors will be offended if I say this, but you know, I was lucky. But the thing is, I'm a hardworking, lucky survivor. And you know what? I was there at the right time. Maybe I caught Cameron at the right moment. I sang everything fell into place. But at the same time, the talent is given. Everyone who's auditioned for this part, I know a lot of them, and they're so talented. I just caught the break at the right moment.
And again, I wonder how you get through it physically. Here we sit on the worst day I could possibly have asked for an interview. It's a Thursday. You've got a matinee at 2:30. You've got the show to do again tonight. The physical strain. I mean, you don't have every song in the show, but the songs you do have are enormous, and your energy has to be boundless. How are you feeling physically now, and how do you prepare for that?
You know, thank God for rehearsals, because rehearsals prepare you for anything. And then the gradual, when you get into the groove of performing, and then you build your muscles. And now, you're even when you're, like you said, imperfect on that day, you know how to do it. You know how to get through that number. You know how to feel it. And you use that sometimes. You use all those imperfections to tell your story.
It's an acting challenge, isn't it? If someone said to me, "You've got to, you've got to play Chris the same as you normally do, but you've lost your top 2 octaves,"
No.
You go, "Okay, let's give this a go." It's a challenge.
It is possible.
Well, I mean, yeah. You just have to find a creative way of respecting the music, respecting the story, respecting the character, and portraying it. I mean, I'm making it a bit too literal by saying top 2 octaves, but just by giving yourself obstacles, whether you're feeling down that day, it's whatever it is, it's fun to go, right. Okay, let's try and give a version of this character, and that's why it changes, and that's why we can do year contracts too.
Right.
Because otherwise it would get boring. But the fact that you come in with a different idea every day because you have to, because you might be in a different mood that day, you might be going through a breakup, you might be trying to move house, whatever it is, but it all affects it. But it keeps it fresh, it keeps me on my toes. I love it.
Did you ever think it would be this good and this successful? Because what could be better? I'm not saying your career's over at this point, but I mean, this is an amazing place to be at your age, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what could be better. If you asked me 4 years ago what my dream role would be, it was Chris in Miss Saigon. So I don't know what to do next. I'm worried.
Is it too young to retire at this age, do you think?
For me, I just want to work. I just want to keep doing this. I just want to have fun, and
But what's interesting about you and your career, I mean, you're LA-based anyway, an interesting place to be, but I mean, you're successful in so many fields. So few people can actually stand on a stage, do TV, make films. You're an all-rounder, aren't you? I mean, you're more than the triple threat.
Thank goodness for that. I love my life. I love where I am, and I'm in a happy place right now.
You should be. Your performance, both of you, is spectacular. To be in the presence of genuine talent always inspires me. I leave so many theatres where I think I could maybe have done that role. Trust me, if I could do the role, it shouldn't be on the stage. You two are just mind-blowing. The energy you give and the talent you've got and the voices are incredible. This show, as far as I'm concerned, is the only show to see this year if you come into the West End. It's called Miss Saigon. It's on at the Prince Edward Theatre. Guys, thank you for talking to me.
Thank you.
Thank you.